Welcome to another edition of Disney Dust. Right here, a special guest is with me. We have Tony Ardolino. Thanks so
Hi
much
guys,
for coming
thanks
on.
for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And we're going to be reviewing The Jungle Book today. But let's see now. Are we going to get into spoiler territory, you think?
I feel like we have to.
We have to.
Well, it's a remake. It's a remake
exactly.
anyway, so I think it'll be good.
All right, so we're going to have to put on our ears because the last time we did a review, we had Zootopia ears on. So that's going to stay. We're just going to snap our fingers and our ears going to come on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Easy peasy.
So cool.
Okay, so let's just talk about just the start of it, the opening sequence.
Thank you. We have to talk about that. Like,
what was that? Like, I didn't recognize the castle.
It
was
like,
different. What is that? Is that homage to something?
I think it's supposed to be like that's the Magic Kingdom because what I got out of it was you started in Fantasyland. And then you went around the castle, and then went into Adventureland.
Yeah.
And it slowly started to go where the Jungle Cruise was, and that's how we went to the movie. And I think it's so cool that now it's like, because like all these movies take place, I feel like in like the Magic Kingdom, and now it's like this is Jungle Book. This takes place in the jungle. Why not go to Adventureland for this?
Right.
So I'm hoping for Beauty and the Beast, we get to go into Fantasyland.
I know. And also, speaking of Beauty and the Beast, I think this sets the tone for a very good live action path for Disney to take, right? Because some of them haven't been really that good. So this
not at all.
So generally, we would agree.
Yeah,
this movie is pretty.
I mean, I feel like Enchanted started it, you know, and then I mean, not Wizard of Oz. What's it called? Alice in Wonderland hit $1 billion. So obviously, it was like they started this new thing, but that's not a good movie.
No, it's not, and they're still making a sequel.
I know,
but Enchanted's having a sequel, Disenchanted.
Oh, thank God.
But I don't know. It sounds pretty negative to be called Disenchanted. But we'll see.
But like even like Cinderella, and it was visually stunning, but it wasn't anything amazing. And I think this movie, even though it's completely like the, it's not like completely like the original, but it still has that magic that the other ones haven't had yet.
Yep. And it actually made the. Do you remember much of the animated one? Like
yes.
Almost 50 years ago, I watched it again, and it actually improved it so much.
Yes.
Like they gave it so much dimension. I mean. That's something separately. I probably will like go write out something and then like put a link. I'll put a link somewhere below and like in terms of how it differs.
But they definitely made homages to the original as well.
Right.
Like with the little songs here and there. I love how they made the little baby elephant look exactly like how it did in the animated movie as well.
And speaking of which, it was clearer though in the animated movie that the elephants represented the army. Right. I had no idea watching this movie, but then. The fact that he saved that baby elephant, it's like he helped the army, basically.
Exactly,
which is a really amazing feat for one little boy.
Yeah, I also like how it was almost like the elephants were the only animal that didn't have a voice, because I feel like, I just felt like they were just so majestic. They were like almost the gods of the jungle. And I feel like if they gave the animals a voice, it would have been weird, you know, because how do you pick a voice for the elephant?
Well, now that we're speaking of animals, let's go through each one of them. What did you feel? Did you feel like they represented something about like the human society for each animal? Like, and what do you think?
I did. I got. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an Italian from New Jersey, and when King Louis came on, I'm like, this is the Italian mob. Like everything about it was the mob, and it didn't help that Christopher Walken was who's a New Yorker as well. I don't know if actually
is he Italian though?
I don't know, but he's definitely from. He's definitely. I think he's a song and dance guy from the city. So I feel like he had that thick accent, and it was just so. I thought it was like basically The Godfather when he walked in there. It was really funny. So I got that out of that. Definitely a con man for Baloo.
Yeah, I didn't like interesting. Oh, Baloo's a con man.
Yeah,
interesting.
Really, you didn't see that?
Well, I didn't get the mafia. Baloo. Well, I don't know. I just thought he was a slacker, and that he taught Mowgli to be himself, which is.
Yeah, but that was before when he was trying to use Mowgli.
True. Interesting.
Like I feel like Baloo. When I was first watching Baloo, I was like, oh wow, I'm like Baloo's kind of like a not nice guy, and all of a sudden, but obviously he changed because I feel like not only does Mowgli believe in himself, but I think it gives Baloo something to believe in as well.
Right. Yeah, I think he formed a bond with Mowgli. I mean, his character actually had quite a bit of a journey. I mean, from getting, like, I won't spoil it for you, but like he does quite an amazing thing for himself.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you see how he's sort of changed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What did you think about? Okay, let's see now. Other animals. The snake. Do you think that represents something?
I don't know what it represents, but I loved Scarlett Johansson's performance. I just thought it was. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh my god!" When the trailer came out, they were just not liking the voice at all. But I loved it.
It's sexy. I like it.
I thought it was fantastic, and I also liked how her eyes. It wasn't so cartoony. It was just, it still hypnotized him. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's adapted like that. And then in the animated movie, there were vultures, so they took that out.
Mm-hmm. They made one little hint at it.
They did?
With the wolves when he was walking up.
Okay. Well, you're sharper than I am. I missed that.
But like they were eating something.
And then we have what else do we have? That's it, right? And then Shere Khan. So he's just, I guess he represents just the main bad guy.
Main bad guy, which fantastic villain. And
I have to say though, I watched the sneak peek at Disneyland California Adventures, where
in the Bugs Life
Theater, and they incorporated these amazing 4D effects, like with the beehive and everything. Like they had the bee sting and everything. I was like,
cool!
If only I could watch the whole movie in that theater.
Right.
I mean, Disney, come on, do it somehow. Yeah. Someone do it. Like it's so amazing. There was water splashing and everything.
Oh, so cool.
But on to other things. Like, what do you think about the animation? Like, it's
amazing. Like I was thinking about like in Lady and the Tramp, how like, because a lot of people were saying how like it's weird that these animals are talking. Like, it makes them almost look fake. And I think in Lady and the Tramp,
for me at first.
Yeah, like in Lady and the Tramp when they're eating dinner and the guy says Tony, these animals can't talk, and he's like, well, they're talking to me. I'm like, these animals were talking to me. I literally, like, they just look so realistic. In no point in the movie where I was like, oh, this is community animation, you know? Yeah. It just looked so realistic, and the whole movie was shot in downtown LA.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. I watched the end credits all the way, and it was like downtown LA, and I was like, what? How did they do that? Like, so it was all sound stages for the forest and everything? I mean, it's all green screen.
It's all green screen.
Wow. And so, yeah, like, it's really difficult to do that balance, because when you're trying to animate animals, real life animals, the tendency is it's going to look pretty fake, right? Because, like, how do you animate an animal's face without making it look cartoonish? But speaking of which, the green screen, like, so this poor boy had nobody to act to. I was thinking that, and it's like,
I just think it's amazing, though, how this little kid is just, everything was believable. Like, here's this kid talking to nothing, probably talking to, like, a puppet or something, and it was just so believable. I'm like, this kid is an amazing actor.
Either very well directed, and both probably very well directed.
Yeah, the director was fantastic as well,
and you know, an amazing actor. Did you already hear they're gonna make a sequel? Their plans for it, just because of how well it's done. Even before the U.S. release, they're making a sequel.
I kind of hinted it at the end, because in the Jungle Book at the end, in the original movie, like he sees like the girl.
Right,
and like he goes into the village, and I love that. I was expecting that at the end.
I was hoping there was I love that song, My Own Home.
Yeah, I was expecting that, and when that didn't happen, when they were when they just sat in the tree, I was like, okay, they're gonna plan a sequel, because I'm like, that's gonna be probably the next movie, which I'm okay with, because I love the ending of this movie. I love when they were sitting down. It reminded me of Winnie the Pooh with Christopher Robin and Pooh and Tigger almost, like sitting in the tree, and then it was just charming how it turned back into like a drawing, and then ended back in a book on the blue velvet like it did in the original movie.
The original movie.
Yeah,
exactly. And there's a lot of homage to different things, right? Like, I mean, there was this part where they sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" and there was like they're crossing the waterfall. There was that. Well, to me, it was like an homage to the Lion King. And then there's bits where like the stampede.
Yeah. It looked like there was a lot of times where I'm like, oh, this is almost like the Lion King.
Yeah. And there was even the rain coming and all that. It just reminded me of The Good Dinosaur a little bit. The whole like nature being the enemy sometimes. Yeah, that was.
You can definitely tell that the director of this, I totally am blanking on his name right now, but
Jon Favreau.
Yes, he almost loves Disney movies, and I didn't know he also directed Elf, and I think Elf is a great Christmas movie that kind of almost not makes fun of, but like pays homage to famous Christmas movies. Right. And I think this pays homage to a lot of famous Disney movies as well.
Yeah.
I think they should keep him.
They should keep him. He's amazing. The other thing, I'm just wondering if the boy's going to be, still young enough to be in the sequel.
I almost hope that he's a little bit older, too, because I just think I would love if it was a franchise, because I literally love the kid, I love the adventures, I loved every single character, all the animals. I kind of wanted to, even like the forest was, computer animated, I still want to be like, well, what's behind the camera right now? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? I want to know more about this world. I want to see more of this movie.
Yeah, and apparently they're gonna take more stories from. There's a series that Rudyard Kipling. How do you pronounce his name? That he wrote.
Yeah.
So there's a series they're gonna draw more of these.
I think that's cool.
Stories from. Have you seen the other live action remake with Jason Scott Lee? That's when he's older.
I think so. It was like in the 90s or something. Yeah. I remember seeing
interesting to compare
long
to
ago,
as well. One more thing. So would you say this is a musical? I mean, there was like 2 songs, and then there was a 3rd song at the last part, which was Scarlett singing. Did you realize that was her?
I love that.
And they didn't put it in the movie,
which I'm kind of okay with because
Really?
it was almost like very James Bond.
It
type,
was. It
which
was.
And it would have been a little too much, but I liked how. Here's my thing. I love musicals. I'm such a musical fan, but sometimes, especially with Disney movies, like Enchanted, it's like, don't sing. It's okay. It's fine.
It's true.
But I think every time one of the characters sang in this movie, it was completely called for. Like when Baloo and Mowgli are just singing the bare necessities in the water, that was so much fun to see. That was fun. It wasn't even like make sure your harmonies are right, guys.
Right.
Like they were just two friends having fun in the water.
Yeah.
And then King Louie sang what's it called? I Want to Be Like You. Fantastic. Like that was just like everyone in the movie theater was just so happy to see that. That was a treat, I think, for the audience members.
I was surprised. I mean, Christopher Walken singing, and like it didn't seem forced.
Yeah. Like he's a big Broadway
is he?
actor. Yeah, he's a big song and dance guy. He can tap dance and everything.
Okay. Wow. I found it funny though because see with the bare necessities, it's like. They acknowledge that it's a song. It's like, yeah, it's a song, don't you know? Blah, blah, blah. And then I thought if anything, it would make more sense to have Ka singing because that in itself is justified because like a song can be part of a charm.
That's true. I can see that as well.
But then King Louie just going into a song was kind of, it's different. So if they were going to do that, I just thought, why don't they just put a 3rd song? Because now it's like a half, like it's only 2
like a
songs.
Half musical,
it's like a half musical, and you've had that recording. I don't know, I mean, it's for time, whatever, for time reasons or whatever, like timing wise. But yeah, I'm glad they put it at the end credits. Yeah.
I almost feel like when Christopher Walken was signing his contract, he was like, if I'm going to do this role, I want to sing that song. And they're like, sure, if you want. Like, we weren't going to make you, but if you want to, sure. But, like, I think it was just so cool.
We'll find out. We'll find out on the DVD.
Right.
It's kind of like when Samuel L. Jackson asked for the purple lightsaber. Like, he was like, it has to be a purple lightsaber or I'm not doing the show.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. So, those are our thoughts. Any more things to add? I think we covered a lot.
One thing I really did like was how, like, it kind of... Because in this movie, I felt like it could have went in a way where it was like, man is bad, man hurts the environment. Right. And I kind of liked how it was, at the end, it was like, man can still be man and help the environment. You know, Mowgli can still, like, at the end, you know, Bagheera was saying, like, you know, be yourself, Mowgli. Like, you can help out by being yourself, and he does help. And he's himself, and he ends up, you know, helping the jungle and saving the jungle.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I mean, because the animals generally have this really bad impression of man.
Yeah.
And what he did was save the elephant with his man tricks, right?
Exactly.
So that was pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Also, follow me on Instagram, Tony.Cannoli, and see my reviews at #YayOrNay with Tony Ardolino.
And I'll put the links below. All right, take care. Till the next time.
Bye.
Thank you.